So what happens to the older predator, chomo, rapist, scumbags in prison? Do they get the same type of pressure as the other ones? It doesn't matter. You hurt women, children in those sick, sadistic ways, you get it. Sometimes even worse. Because they think because they're older, they're going to get some type of special treatment. But this one is a little different. This is one of the wildest tales that if it wasn't true, nobody would believe it. This shows just whatever they want to happen in prison will happen. When you enter the system, there is no more safety. There is no depending. It's you, yourself, and that's it. In 2017, Shane Goldsby was convicted and ultimately sent to prison in Washington State for a bunch of high-speed chases, robberies, where he got 16 years, but had to do about 6 years. As in Washington State, they're a little bit more liberal with the time and give you a lot of incentives to, lessen your time, parole and programs where, Florida and other places, 85%, that's it. And you're lucky if you get that. No parole, nothing. He was housed in the same cell as a man that raped his sister. Now, with 17,000 inmates in the Washington State Department of Corrections at the time, the chances that a 26-year-old management problem who's fighting all the officers gets put in the same protective custody cell as the man who raped his sister, a 73-year-old dude on protective custody. Let me just play a little bit of the clip so you can kind of understand how real this shit is. Right here is Shane. And he's talking about that this is unreal. How?
I changed my fucking life in 2019. I gave my life to God, dude. You guys want to put me in this fucking position, dude? To be face to face with this fucking dude that did this shit to my little sins, dude. All this shit leading up, with the COs and asking about my family.
That's a man in desperation. That's pressure. That's real pressure right there. 26 years old, doing your first major bid in a very violent institution. You're already a management problem. You've already fought the officers, and somehow you get put in the same cell with the man that raped your sister. What would any man do? Any parent, any person that their family member was viciously violated, and you get locked in a room with that 73-year-old person? Listen, I don't care who you are. 100%, you will not care if they give you a life sentence. You're going to do what he did. And he ultimately beat that man to death. Viciously stomped on his neck. The beating went on for over 27 minutes. Now, there's multiple ways you can look at this. In this video, he looks at it as 100% setup. Now, I'm going to give you my take on it and what I've seen in prison system, but just watch this video.
Yeah, this shit's fucked up, dude, and they want to see I plan this shit, dude. Okay, you talking the same institution, the same unit, the same pod, and the same cell as this dude. Okay? That's like hitting the jackpot in a casino 7 times.
That was Shane Goldsby, almost exact.
He does make a point. No matter what happened, the fact is, the COs are going to put you in those positions every time. Whatever they want to happen will happen. This is the life you asked for. When you go to prison, you will be put in these situations by the corrections officers. Whether you ask for it, like I did, or they do it because they see how you respond to situations. They see you're a violent maniac that's just young and ready to seek revenge or hurt any of these chomo fucking piece of shits. But to put somebody in the same cell that did it to your own family member, I've seen that happen before, and it always ends the same way. But the dude who did it, where I was at, he was glad. He shook it off. Yeah, it was whatever. But this one was different. He's saying this was a setup, that he had originally had gotten into a fight with the officers and, a couple incidents. He punched a couple, back and forth shit. And they put him in a PC wing where he never asked for PC, which is very rare, especially like seeing it in Florida. I've seen dudes go up to a window to the officers and say, "They're going to kill me." And the officers will come out to the unit and say, "Listen, if one of you motherfuckers don't get him to shut up, I'm going to come shake this whole shit down." So they don't like that shit because that's just how it is. It's a sick game. Now, The officers could have been approached by somebody on the outside and said, listen, this motherfucker did this to my family member, because he had multiple victims, not just his sister. And they put 2 and 2 together as classification, finds out everything about your family, and they're supposed to do what's called keep away. And they could have got paid a decent amount of money, did a favor for a friend, or straight up just didn't like the guy and said, yo, watch this. Let's put him in the cell together. Because when it was all said and done, and they knew for a fact that this was the guy's sister was the victim by this piece of shit chomo, and that they were in the same Department of Corrections in the same state, they knew that already. And it even comes out in the filing saying, we'll launch an investigation. Case closed. None of the officers charged. Nobody in classification charged. The only person that got charged was Shane, who got 25 years added to his sentence. Now, this might sound cold, but 25 years to kill the person that viciously is a chomo and did these vicious crimes to your family, I mean, I would take it. But that's not the point here. The point is that Shane says, nah, man, I wasn't on that type of time. I changed my life. However, what are the chances that I could be put in the same cell with the dude who did this? I was begging them not to put me in there. I didn't want to be in PC. You get the point. But what happens is this. 3 different situations. Either he found out and they're like, look, we'll make it happen. However they organized it. And when it happened, he realized, damn, I'm going to get real time for this shit, and kind of went AWOL off the mission. Or they seen he was a young, wild one, and they fucked with his head a little bit. They seen he was punching officers, beating up inmates, just always in the shit, win, lose, or draw, always fighting, stabbing. Young, 26-year-old with a lot of time, and said, listen, we know the dude who did those things to your sister. We could get you to that cell. And he signed up, got into it, and handled it. Or it could just be some real grimy shit that the officers do all the time. And they put people in the cell that are your worst enemies, that have hurt your family, that have done it all. Sometimes for their own entertainment, sometimes for profit, sometimes for everything. Or they just don't like either one of them. And they could have said, you know what, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, when I watched this video of his sentencing, this is what made me think that he might have not had anything to do with this. Because I've been in situations in prison where, yeah, it might sound good that the officer set us up, but I knew exactly what I was getting into when they put me in those chomo cells. I knew exactly what I was getting into when we hit up those chomos and beat them and did whatever kind of crazy shit to them. But the way he goes to court, you saw Sanderson in my other video, the guy who killed his roommate, choked him to death with a shoelace. He said, yeah, I killed him because he's a chomo. Period. That's it. I've seen many other ones do it. Why'd you do it? Because he hurts children. He's a rapist, piece of shit. That's why. But when he's in court, obviously it's a lot, but he's not weak. He's a strong kid, and he's been in the system now. He can talk, articulate, and the way he just tries to even appease them, he can't do it. He can't even let the words out. The tears start coming like, I just can't say this fake ass shit. And I said, damn, it looks like a setup for real. Just watch it.
I was put into his man, dog. Like this man's death, I was put into his man, dog.
That's wild. And that right there is a real glimpse of when somebody can't even say the word without just like it's just too fake. It's just, I can't do it. It's almost like either he doesn't want to rat on anybody and he wants to keep it real, or he's really like, damn, they put me in the worst position I could have ever imagined. Right as I was trying to change my life, and they think I'm just going to just say sorry to the motherfucker that did this to my sister. Like, that's the vibe I got from that video. I'm curious to hear what y'all say. But in all reality, it doesn't matter if you're 18 to 80. You will get hit every single time. The COs will make it happen. The inmates will make it happen. The victims, everybody will make it happen. Classification will make it happen. It does not matter. If you hurt women and children, you're a chomo, pedophile, rapist, they will find a way to torture you and ultimately end your life. In the end, this is every chomo's worst nightmare in a chess game, high level, locked in the cell with one of your victim's brothers, beaten to death. Stay out, stay free. Us.